This is a Lunacy broadcast. Code Red, here we are. Pick up your iPads, your cell phones, and have me and listen to Uncle the podcast. Watch out. If you're sitting down for this, or if you're standing up, you better get ready for this, because it's gonna hit the eardrums. Uncle the podcast.
You are listening to Uncle the Broadcast. My name is Aaron. I'm the nephew-in-law. Here with me is the star of the show, Uncle.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. 149 people. Friday night. It's 149. One to go, and it's going to be a special one.
150. Yeah, well, it's a special one tonight, too.
I hear it's a special one tonight. I believe we have some guests online.
Two guests.
She's a politician, I understand.
That's correct.
Right, and JJ?
Yeah, JG Michael.
Michael, I heard that. Yeah. So, where you guys from and where? Did I say?
Yeah. So, JG Michael and Rachel Haywire, welcome to the show.
Welcome to the show.
What's up, Mr. Uncle?
All right. Yeah. Sounds like.
All right.
Very, very nice. Very nice. The voices, to me, when I get into the voices, the voices tell me.
They tell a story.
And
they do.
And they remind me of somebody.
Oh yeah,
her voice.
They sound so. Rachel Haywire sounds
like someone I know,
like someone you know.
Okay. Yeah.
A familiar sound. That's always nice.
I hope you don't want to kill them.
What?
Hopefully,
it's a person that you like. You know. Instead of dislike.
No.
Yeah.
So I just.
All right.
I get the people to talk, and I let them do the talking on my hour.
Yeah.
Not sidekick. No sidekick. Slow it down there. You had your hour.
Okay, I'll try. Uncle, you remember JG Michael, right?
JG Michael. I believe you on a couple of times ago.
Yeah. How are you doing, Uncle? It's been a while.
While I could say about a year. I'm almost about a year since I heard your voice.
Well, it's great to hear from you again, Uncle.
Oh, wow.
Of course, JG Michael of Parallax Views podcast. And my gosh, Uncle, we have a United States president candidate here from the Transhumanist Party. What do you think of that?
One question about is she a Republican or Democrat or a undergiving to him? Just for the sake. Are you running?
Baby, I'm an anarchist, not a spineless liberal. I mean, I'm an anarchist, but I'm running for president because that's the ultimate act of anarchy.
You know what we need? I believe we need more women in the White House. I want to try to see more women. There's too many men. What do you know? Good boy, you're staying back there, sidekick.
Yeah, we gotta get those identity politics so we can win the ballots.
Well, I think the Democrats for the people. Now, what I understand, the Democrats for the people. The Republicans.
That's what they tell us.
Are for the big boys.
They all the big boys. They all big. You know that, Uncle, right?
Rachel's saying that both Democrats and Republicans are aligned with the big boys, and not the Democrats aren't truly for the people. Is that correct, Rachel?
Oh yeah.
Well, unless they are fooling us on the television shows or the talk shows when they talk that they're not for the people. Now that's what I get at it. But what other people do, the voting stuff,
Well, Uncle, I kind of agree with Rachel that none of those guys you see out there on the Democrat or Republican side are for the people. They are for the corporate interests who pay them. But hey, that's just my opinion. Meanwhile, you got a couple of callers on the line in addition to your guests, just so you know.
Oh, okay. Thank you there, Chucky. You're doing a good job, Chucky.
Doing what I can, Uncle.
Now.
Doing what I can,
Oh, very good, very good.
Well, Uncle, we better field these calls.
Let's check the calls out, see who's on the line. Who is it and where you from?
Well, first of all, let's pick one. We got the 425, and we got let's see. I think I messaged you, Aaron, about another one.
Okay. Yeah. Why don't we? Yeah. Oh, I see. Oh, yeah. Why don't we do 425 here first? Yeah.
425.
Yeah. Let's talk to 425.
425. I believe I know 245. He was on last week.
425.
I recognize the number.
425 area
I know
code.
the number when you said that.
You're on the air.
Hey, Uncle, that wasn't me. That was my brother.
Oh, you have two of you now? Oh, no. Here we go. Two of them, the same name. And I'm just a minute now. Now,
It's all good, man. How you doing?
Okay. I hope nobody's drinking tonight because I'm not having a drinks tonight.
Yeah, totally sober.
Totally sober tonight because I
got you, man. I've been sober for almost 2 months now.
Oh, I'm getting to that point too. I know, but what I do on my testings, I'm only doing drop glass shots. That's it.
No beers.
No beer drinking because I have my sugar puffs on it, so I have to.
Whatever works.
Yeah.
Now, guests, do you have anything for our guests?
Yeah.
Phone caller. Do you have anything for JG or for Rachel Haywire here?
Haywire. Why are you talking?
You guys talking politics?
Well, actually, she's running. So
yeah, she's running for president.
She's running for president. And here we were talking about that a while back on some of this broadcast, saying you think I would be a good Democrat. Why? I mean, that's another story.
Are you with the Democratic views, though?
I don't support Democrats. I think that the Democrats are a bunch of wolves in sheep's clothing, and I think that after what they did to Bernie, that much is clear. I think that the best party is the anarchist party, but since we don't have a party, you might as well run on a fringe party ticket, and that's why I'm running as a transhumanist. I'm running for the transhumanist party, and that's what my campaign is about, bringing transhumanism to the people, funding the transgressive arts, $2,000 a month, ending overseas intervention, cryptocurrency for medical treatment, funding psychedelic research, and creating virtual realities for the mind so people can enact their deepest, darkest thoughts without hurting people. So visionary technology. That's what I'm doing as an anarchist. I'm running as a transhumanist.
So, are you like with that guy who used to wear the rubber boot on his head?
Which one is that?
Vermin Supreme.
I can't remember his name, but I believe it was last election.
Vermin. I'm not with him, but I would like to hang out with him. If he wants to get together, he could give me a call.
Stuff.
Reminds me of the
I do agree, though. They totally they didn't do Bernie very well. I believe he was coerced last election.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can tell by the look on his face when he started endorsing Clinton. He did not want to do that.
That's not so good. I think that it's better for people to break off from the two-party system and run on their own independent parties. And I mean, I remember, there was the Gonzo Party with Hunter S. Thompson, and you had Are You Serious?
Yes.
Running as the Revolution Party. I want to see more of that,
Yeah, sure. All right.
Because, I mean, this whole split views thing, I believe, is what's causing all the problems.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Well, actually, that's kind of like part of your campaign slogan there. And caller, thank you. I think we're gonna say bye to you now, but call back another time. Thank you very much. And Rachel, why don't you just? Yeah, absolutely. Rachel, is that correct? Is that how the divisiveness? Isn't that kind of part of the crux of your campaign, or no?
Yeah, my slogan is beyond the center, because we need to go beyond the center of politics. We have the Democrats and the Republicans that are really just enforcing the status quo, and what we need is something beyond that. We need to go outside of the realm of traditional politics and to create a new force, and that new force is the people, the tech working class, the art class. We need to have our own movement, and that movement is the transhumanist revolution, and that's the movement that I'm looking to lead, and that's why I'm running as a candidate.
Say, can I ask a question here, Uncle?
Go ahead.
Okay, I would like to know Rachel's view on cannabis. And look, if you did have the opportunity to make national policy regarding this, do you have any plans or ideas about that?
Yeah, I think that everybody over the age of 21 should smoke it, maybe over 18. I think it should be legal. I think, medically, recreationally, I don't think it ever should have been illegal at all. And I'm happy to see that some states have decriminalized it, and I don't think that anybody should ever have any type of punishment for anything related to marijuana ever.
So you would be for also commuting sentences of people that have been convicted on cannabis charges, things like that? Pardon.
100%. I mean, not just cannabis, but LSD, MDMA. Part of my platform is releasing all non-violent drug offenders and sex workers, incidentally, from from prison. As somebody running for president, I want to release all non-violent drug offenders and sex workers from prison and reallocate that money to universal basic income to give everybody $2,000 a month. I also want to use the money that's going to spying on American citizens, that's going to overseas wars, and use that money to give everybody $2,000 a month. We should not have any non-violent drug offenders in prison. We shouldn't have any victimless criminals in prison. If it's victimless, why is it a crime? Why are these people in prison at all? Let's get them out.
Wow. Okay, good answers there. I like that, Uncle. Thanks for letting me ask the question.
Good. Now, where are we at?
We're all over the place.
I know. Really good talk tonight. Talker here.
You also
got my attention in the head.
You also have another caller waiting too.
Yes. We have that other call if you want to go to him, Uncle.
Well, let's hit the caller and not let him wait so long.
Okay, we can hit up this caller.
Hit the caller. Who are you and what's your name and where you from?
Well, thank you. Thank you for forgiving me from last week. I do appreciate that. My name is Bobby Vaughn Jr. from Santa Ana, California, not too far from Aaron and the gang.
Yeah. Okay.
Anyways,
Uncle, this is Bobby.
Thank you. Thank you for because I played a Devo song when you guys brought me in last time. I was playing a Devo song, and I thought it was relevant at the time, but actually it wasn't. I guess.
Yeah.
So,
Bobby, I'll tell you the truth is that I made a decision as a producer to cut you off because I didn't want to have any trouble with them distributing the podcast with that on it. And I didn't want YouTube to have an issue or anything like that, which everywhere you go, there's all these intellectual property issues. So that's why I cut it down.
I understand.
Yeah.
That's very understandable, and I thank you for a very respectful feedback on that, man. Thank you. I love your service to humanity and the planet.
Oh, I appreciate you, man.
Anyways,
I'm just saying it wasn't a matter of disrespect to you or anything like that. It was just I didn't want to have these guys have trouble with their podcast, so that's why I did it.
I fully understand. Well, thanks for having me on here. Thank you. Anyways, with transhumanism and Uncle, cheers from the Southwest. I'm having a torpedo. It's it's kind of like what I drink. It's not anything new to you, but it's a extra IPA.
There he goes again.
Cheers to the Uncle podcast.
There he goes again, Uncle.
But
I know what's coming.
You know what's next.
I knew it was coming.
He knows what's next.
Every guest that I get either has something in their hands, a drink in their hands, because I made that popular with the dollar beer store signs. This is interesting.
That's so funny and awesome. That's a really good dynamic on distributing audio to individuals and it's really good to the ears to hear people saying, giving reviews on dollar store beers. I think it's awesome. But and the critical matters. What's up?
Yeah, no, I was just gonna say, do you have anything to ask JG? Or
I got anything to say to JG?
Yes, I do. First of all, yes, I am a fellow anarchist because I do believe the only system that ever worked was a lack of systemic control. I mean, we've seen Rome fall over 2,000 years ago. Like what contributed to Rome falling?
Right.
Maybe Jesus had a little bit to do with it. I mean, it's about the right time, right? About that same time frame. That Jesus let out his gut-wrenching scream, and there were earthquakes and civilization.
So it's time for is it time for a new Messiah? Is that the idea?
We're at the brink of collapse, and we're kind of like building a new Rome in the ashes of the old one. And I think that we're the architects of a new civilization.
I do have an issue with anarchic transhumanism, and I think that this may be the grounds for establishing, possibly a conversation about this. Is transhumanism certainly depends on new technologies and companies and corporations who create new algorithms and new products. And those companies are usually very sophisticated companies. But then the anarchic side comes in and says, why would we actually install the products of these corporations within our own temple? Why would we do that?
I see.
Why?
When
the truth. Okay.
Do you have anything to say about that, Rachel? Any ideas sparked there?
I don't think that there's anything wrong with using the products if you're doing it in a way that is for your own ends. I'm more of an individualist anarchist, like a stirrer, right? So, it's the product, you're using it. If you're using it for your own purposes, for your own anarchistic reasons, I don't see a problem with that. I don't think that we should be reliant on these corporations. It's our job to form our own micro societies and to get away from that model. As anarchists, we should be forming our own societies. But I wouldn't say no, we can't use their products. I don't think that that's the right way to go about it now.
All right. Well, Bobby, thanks for calling again. I think we're going to say bye again, but hey, call back anytime. We'll talk to you soon. How's that sound?
All right. Hey, thank you for your service to humanity and the planet, and stay resistant. High five from the Southwest.
All right. Take care now. All right. Hey, JG, do you have a dollar store beer over there?
Not right now. Although I did have something I wanted to add. Maybe because we're in sort of the fun half with Uncle here. I was wondering, maybe Rachel could talk a little bit about. And I know it's sort of behind you now, Rachel, but I was wondering if you could talk a little bit about your past life as a sort of industrial musician, because Chuck, our producer, actually is a big metalhead, so you guys may have some crossover with the whole industrial metal scene.
Sure. Yeah, I just released a new album. It's called Alternative Technology. It came out on New Generation Records. But it was my first album in over 8 years. I started out as a pretty basic punk industrial artist / writer. I lived in a warehouse in Bushwick over a decade ago. I had 6 roommates. I also did a lot of traveling. I was a digital nomad, and I began making music by taking a tape recorder. That's how old I am. And just taking random samples and banging on fences, banging on sewers, going to factories, taking these samples, recording them, and then going into my hacked Acid Pro software and using those samples and mixing them together. So the industrial I started making was more like experimental noise. I was very influenced by bands like Throbbing Gristle, Einstürzend and Neubaden. And then a few years later, I began giving it a beat, a chorus, a verse. But I really just started out making sound collages. That was how I began making music, or anti-music, some people might say.
Very cool stuff. There's actually thousands of hours of stuff like that Trent Reznor possesses that he's never released. And I happen to know that because I worked in the studio with him at one point, right after he made a trip back from L.A. to New York. And I was part of the crew responsible for that. This is after he rented the house that Sharon Tate was killed in. But anyways.
Hi, I just...
Whoa, wait.
Yeah.
So, Chuck, you not only worked with the Genitorturers, you also worked with Trent Reznor, and through White Devil Records, I believe, you helped get a Manson album released.
You're all
a man
true.
of many talents.
This is all true. I told you I worked across the music industry. The underground, the underbelly, the itchy underbelly, if you will, of music. So that's how I made a living for about a decade, quite honestly.
Mad respect.
So the thing is, interesting stuff. I had a thought here because Uncle loves movies. And you know what movie I saw not too long ago was Alita Battle Angel, right? I think that's the name of it. Does anybody know this movie? Or is it just me? You know it.
I know the comic book. I know the comic book. I didn't see the movie, though.
You didn't see the movie? Well, okay. I was just curious. Uncle, have you seen that movie?
What was it called again?
Alita Battle Angel, I think is the name of it.
No, I don't think I have either.
Well,
is it new or is it an old one?
It's a fairly new movie. It's not brand new, but it's fairly new. And
could be on Big Flex.
It might be. I'm not sure yet.
Well, I always check that because I could have tonight, but I don't know where his knobs are.
Well, I got you, but the thing is, it kind of links to a lot of the concepts here because I'm wondering, how much Uncle knows about transhumanism in general. And I'm just thinking of a theatrical presentation that might, link it together since he loves movies. Aaron, what do you think?
I know a little bit of this stuff.
Yeah, what do you know of it, Uncle?
About how they start talking about this kind of stuff that machinery,
artificial
machinery. Of course, you know what's coming. You know that's coming. It's coming down the road.
Okay.
It is coming.
It's here.
Let me tell you. I mean, it's actually here.
Oh, yeah.
But in the grocery store, we have to go through a machine. We go through the bank. We go to a machine. It's already here, people. You got to understand. It's already here.
Yeah, but there's a difference between tools, though, and integrating those tools with people, and a lot of people make arguments about it, right? So here's the thing. I was wondering, in your mind, because I know we discussed this on the show before, about, like I have the eye problem, right? So maybe I might want some artificial eyes, but I don't. That's something I'm against. And we had another guy who was a caller that was in a wheelchair, if you remember, talking about, well, maybe he would want to utilize technology to get out of the wheelchair, or maybe he wouldn't, right? And it's a debate. So, I mean, what do you think of that kind of stuff, like improving lives or, putting the machinery inside of the man kind of thing? What do you think about that?
That'll feel like weird, but of course, we also know that's also coming. Oh, by the way, I was going to talk about something in the brain. Since we're in this subject about electric stuff, I want to know what's the thing in the brain, sense it into your brain, and now they put a chip into your brain.
Yeah,
now, does anybody know about that?
Does anybody? Rachel, do you know about that?
I'm sure Rachel knows about neurological enhancements, right?
Which one? There have been people that are doing this experimental work for a long time. Harvard, MIT, Stanford. This is not new.
It isn't new.
This is public knowledge. This is not a conspiracy. This is just what they do.
It's what it does. My opinion of this is, all right, it's taking the brain out of the person, putting that machine or whatever it is, chip, into the head. That's what's happening.
Like Neuralink. So you mean like the stuff that Elon Musk is doing? You think that that's anti?
Yeah.
That it violates human rights and that kind of thing. Well, what if it's voluntary? What if the human wants to do it? Isn't that a choice of bodily autonomy?
Yeah.
See, that's the thing. Like 35 years ago, Uncle, right? You know what they were doing to blind people? This is a true experiment, by the way. They were drilling a hole in their heads and basically putting a digital camera, or a very clunky kind of digital camera, so that they could actually begin to see black and white imagery that was sent directly into their brains, just eliminating the eyes from the equation. This is one of the experiments that was conducted in the early 90s. Right. You know, so you're talking almost 30 years ago, or more than 30 years ago now, I guess. You know, and they had done that. I mean, where it's like a video camera and a wire straight into the brain, stuff like that, and then chip technology and everything else. Some of it's enhancements, and some of it's implants. And you know, I was just wondering what your thoughts were on all that.
I think real strange, because you got these heavy metal stuff actually going into your head. It's like it's like a car. You put electric in the car, you put an electric would be into your head. You won't need any, what is it?
Gasoline.
You won't need no gas. Run the gas company out of business, and here you go. But still do not know how this will work.
Electric power
brains.
As opposed to gas-powered brains.
Right, exactly.
How are we going to institute this, Rachel?
Yeah, how do we do this, Rachel?
Well, I mean, Elon Musk has been working on big things with Neuralink. I think as long as it's voluntary, it's fine. I have a problem with people using it for surveillance. There's a lot of sketchy stuff that goes on where they use chips in order to monitor people. Again, it's not sci-fi. It's just what people do. Various government agencies. There's even like some clubs I heard about in China where you need to get like a chip implant just to like get in as a VIP. You know, if somebody wants to do it, I mean, you think back to like William Gibson, Cyberpunk, where people are they're biohackers for doing the chips themselves to augment themselves and go back to, you know, working on disability, finding ways to work through their physical challenges through implanting machinery into themselves. So somebody is missing, you know, an arm, for example, in the far future. They put a metal arm into their own body, you know, doing surgery on themselves, or, you know, having a friend do surgery on them. And that's the kind of, you know, human machine interaction that I'd like to see is, you know, voluntary self-augmentation. And I fully support that.
It's like the Terminator. Yeah, here I am. It's like one of those guys. I don't have Terminator stuff.
I'm not sure Rachel's a big fan of you know, turning the world into Skynet, though. I'm not sure about the Terminator analogy. What say you, Rachel?
Yeah, no, I'm more of a Tetsuo kind of girl. No, I don't like the idea of Skynet. I don't like the idea of a collective hive mind of watching over us in any shape or form. I feel that is the wrong way to go. What I'm for is individual expression and working through our bodies in a way where we can use technology to augment ourselves voluntarily. Not through the government, not through companies, but through hacker spaces, maker spaces, just improving our own physical form, you know, through taking technology into our own hands. And that's the kind of machine-human integration that I support as a transhumanist.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
This is for Rachel. If you have a podcast, are you automatically a transhumanist?
No.
No, okay.
I've heard some bad podcasts, so I would say no.
Yeah, okay.
If you have the podcast inside of your brain, then yeah.
Okay.
You know, if you like put the Uncle podcast inside of your brain, if you had a chip in your brain and you put the Uncle podcast in it, then you would be like a full transhumanist. So.
Well, the only thing about my broadcast, everybody else's broadcast, I don't have any language is not allowed on it.
Yeah, so it's a language upgrade.
It's a language.
Is what it would be.
Right. That's what I'm, because I even have even the let's say his nephew or his
it's
son,
a filter. It's a filter application.
Listen, I let him come and listen because I have no problem with that. But I make sure the guests don't have to say any words.
So anybody who has a swearing problem out there, just download the Uncle podcast in your brain, and you won't swear anymore. There we go. Yeah, we just made a product, Uncle.
And then you'll be a transhumanist too. You'll be a transhumanist because you have it in your brain. So.
That's two birds with one stone, Uncle. A product, and we became transhumanists all at the same time.
Oh yeah.
What do you think?
I think that sounds interesting. Yeah, that sounds interesting. So I hear.
Yeah, I knew we'd convert you and force you to assimilate.
Well, we got a thing going in the chat.
I knew we'd get you. I knew we'd get you.
The chat room is kicking.
You're excited about the chat room? Yes, we have chatters in the chat room.
They are chatting. I can hear it on my earplug.
We've got callers calling in. Anybody who does, if we do have any other callers, feel free. 319-527-5016. Those phone lines are still open. We're talking to who are we talking to, Uncle?
We're talking to
Rachel Haywire.
Rachel Haywire.
And JG.
And JJ.
Michael.
Mm-hmm. The name familiar, but I don't remember how I come before.
JG, jog Uncle's memory how he knows you from before.
Yeah, I'm
JG. JG. This is JG speaking. Uncle, I was on what was it? A year ago, Aaron? I think we did like 2 episodes actually.
Yeah,
the voice sounds familiar to me. I mean, I can always pick the voice out and familiar.
I honestly can't remember.
This is why we need transhumanism, so we can like jog Uncle's memory.
There we go. Clearly, we need it.
I have to go back to my. I'm gone. I've got to go back to my first one just to review myself. Never mind to do all this stuff. Jeez, I'm at 149 episodes tonight. This has been absolutely amazing how far I am moving along with this stuff.
Oh, I'm transhumanly using the search bar on unclethepodcast.com to pull up the interview we did with JG. It's entitled JG Michael Interview Horrific Cannabinoid Legalization Process. We were talking about the legalization of cannabis.
What?
Yeah. I'm trying to see what – I'm not seeing a date on it. I don't have the date on here. But, yeah, it probably was about a year ago. So that was the main topic, cannabis legalization.
Oh, well – we're back to it again then.
It kind of cycles back around, doesn't it?
It did come back around.
It's
a nice review to me, though. And when you're having to review things, this is a very good review. Some of these guests we have review stuff. But the lady's the first person I've heard left on here. So
Uncle, this is a presidential candidate, for goodness sake.
I'm trying to say this.
This is amazing.
This is very... Finally, we're going to have somebody run that White House in the proper position.
Well, I told my therapist that I was running for president, and she thought that I was having delusions. I'm not seeing her anymore because she thought that I was having a delusion. I'm like, no, I'm running for president. And she says, well, it sounds like you're having delusions of grandeur. You think you're going to, like, defeat Trump? And I was like, no, I'm just, like, running for president on a fringe party ticket. But she thought that it was like there was something wrong with me, like I was crazy. She thought I was like, I'm running for president. She didn't understand that you could run for president and not be like some serious, like Republican or Democrat. Or she didn't understand that there were like people like me that ran for president. So she marked me down delusional. It was quite. We don't have a client-therapist relationship anymore. So.
That's why the out of proportion. That's why you hit the point on the head. The party's out of proportion. We need a person like yourself that isn't in a party to know what in the heck going on around here in this world.
There we go. Yeah, I think so.
I mean, that's the problem we have in this country. And that's where I'm seeing it.
Yeah.
People are having these problems, and here is this one. I can give you an example. His wife likes that
a candidate
that's a Democrat, but what he doesn't have is backup. His backup
he needs more backup.
Is real weak.
Mm-hmm.
When you run for a position like that, you've got to have, of course, money, first thing, backup for what you're going to say and tell the people what's on the plate for the coming year and things like that.
Yeah, exactly. That story about the therapist was hilarious. How out of touch they were. That's funny because
that's what her degree got her. This is one of the reasons that I think credentialism is silly, because these people have no idea what's going on in the real world.
Yeah.
They don't understand what's happening with regular people.
And not to say this now, if people open their eyes, most of them, not saying you, but other people, see what's around and see what's going on, then they'll know what we're talking about here.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Now, Rachel, I saw a recent interview with you. I think it was on the Transhumanist Party website, where you were saying you think that one of the best aspects, I forget, of American culture or politics was entertainment, it just struck me that what you're saying kind of was also. I mean, it's a plus and a minus in that. I mean, Trump came into office as an entertainer, as far as I can see it. He was like doing a comedy bit on stage, you know? Like, would you agree with that?
Hold on. I have to say something. When Rachel Haywire is running for president, we're not talking like Donald Trump reality television entertainment. We're talking Tank Girl for president, if anyone has ever read Tank Girl or seen the movies. That's Rachel Haywire, and that's why we need to vote for her.
Yeah, he knows me pretty well. I mean, I'm not going to deny that. I do think that entertainment and politics is the direction we need to be going, because politics is a circus. Politics is the greatest show on earth, or maybe the worst show on earth, but it's definitely a show. And people like Vermin Supreme and President X, with the 3 teeth industrial band, that's what politics really is. And I think that we need to be open about it. If you guys remember the movie Bulworth, he went Bulworth. I'm going haywire. Politics is entertainment, and we need to have more fringe candidates running on platforms of their own visions. And we were talking about, like, you need to have serious financial backing to run for president. You shouldn't. I think everybody should run for president. I think everybody listening to the Uncle podcast right now should run for president. Let's all run for president.
I want Uncle to run for president.
Oh, Uncle, it's back again.
We had this conversation a while back ago between Sidekick over here and another guest was talking about that, what you were talking about.
Yeah, you running for president. We were just trying to figure out who your cabinet would be, who the running mate would be, first of all.
Who the running mate would be.
Right.
We were talking about that until we hit tonight, the lady here.
And I said I wanted to be CIA director. If you get it,
I think it was you too. No, it was you in the conversation, Chuck.
I was.
You were in the conversation.
I was. I said, make me CIA director. We'll take care of everything.
Yeah.
No problem.
Yeah.
But big shout out to 3 Teeth, which Rachel just mentioned. Boy, tell you that's
President
pretty funny.
X.
Yeah. Well, I just.
President X. I feel like he should be my vice president. So I'm hoping for him as my VP.
Which one, President X or Lex?
Yeah, President X.
Well,
my vice president.
Lex from 3 Teeth came on my show. I just played that track, President X, right before the Age of Transitions kicked off on my stream.
I heard that. That's why I was bringing it up. We need to get all the industrial musicians to become transhumanists so we can have a real party.
Excellent. A shout out to Lex. You're a genius, bro. Can't wait to talk to you again. Anyways.
Well, this all reminds me, and I think Rachel will agree, I think we need Al Jorgensen from Ministry to run for president at some point.
Yeah. This is like a... wait a minute. We're talking...
That'd be funny.
We're talking...
We get all the musicians to become politicians. all musicians should become politicians. That would be fantastic. I want to make this happen. Can we initiate this policy?
I think so.
To get all the musicians to become politicians.
I'd love that.
This is what we need. Our future.
Carlos Santana for the Department of Sorry, go ahead, Paul.
Of anything.
Of just about anything, exactly.
What is it, Uncle? What do we got going on
What is... do you have, I should say, good background?
Background.
We have to have a background person.
We're doing a background check here.
I'm trying a background check.
Yes.
To see how good she could really be.
Okay.
I'm done. I just want to get to the point.
What sort of criteria are we looking to meet here, Uncle?
Seriously, straighten this country out and keep the people working instead of going on a tech line.
What kind of experience do you want in a presidential candidate, Uncle?
A president that knows what they're doing.
Okay.
To keep the job going.
Yes.
No cuts, no dropouts.
Okay.
Like you're off the line. Mm-hmm. Well, since we're into politics, might as well continue the politics program.
Stay on the line.
Is this your back of where you're doing it?
Yeah. Do you meet all those requirements?
Major part of it, in addition to giving citizens $2,000 a month, I want better jobs and pay for the working class, and funding for the transgressive arts is also a key issue in my platform. I believe that artists, musicians, writers, filmmakers, and photographers are criminally underpaid right now. Through having funding for the transgressive arts and integrating the art class into the technology world, we can begin paying the creatives and innovators so we can create more jobs for people that are in the gig economy, people that are unemployed, people that have jobs that they really don't like, where they would rather be doing creative work. We get funding for the transgressive arts, for the Transhumanist Party, and we begin creating an entirely new entertainment industry and tie it in with technology. So yes, creating jobs for the creative class is one of the big issues in my platform. It's one of the major reasons that I'm running for president.
Yeah,
I was going to say real quick, I like how you one-up Andrew Yang on that. It's not just $1,000 a month for UBI, it's $2,000.
Yeah, I like that too.
1,000 isn't enough. Nobody can live on 1,000 a month. That's ridiculous.
Uncle, do you know what
we have a state that has a problem. Detroit. All I hear on the news, they got cut. They get cuts. They can't get a job. Layoffs. Lower layoffs. What can that country, that state, do to keep it going?
Any ideas, Rachel, to keep Detroit going?
Well, it depends a lot on the local legislature over there, but I think there are a lot of creative people out there that are living very cheaply right now, just because of the state that Detroit is in. I mean, I know a guy, he has a 2-bedroom and he's paying $500 a month for it. He's an artist there, and I don't know, like he's doing pretty well. So I'm not saying it's great over there, but I'm saying like rent is really cheap, and that might be a place for a new creative renaissance. I mean, who knows? It's the cities like Detroit where you can really get away with doing all sorts of creative experimental things because they don't have all the big companies and all the big money with all the legislations and all of the rules telling people what they can and can't do, telling people, you're not allowed to stand here, it's loitering, or you're not allowed to even, live here because you don't meet a certain economic yada yada. It's more like, come to Detroit, and I actually think there's a lot of potential there.
Yeah, any city that installs a sculpture of RoboCop is all right by me. They're doing something right.
Yeah. Robot, you know what that is?
What is that?
The arm's out.
The arm is
electric. We're talking electric.
The electric.
Talk about that sidekick.
I know. It's RoboCop.
You're talking about that thing is sidekick.
His arms were loaded with electricity.
Yeah, electricity loaded.
Absolutely.
I remember that. You've seen that.
Don't we all?
Right, going to hell.
Good.
At least.
Well, Detroit's also
aspect of transhumanism.
No, Detroit's also under a renewal project right now, and it's a cooperation between businesses and local individuals, like on a community level. So, that's an interesting thing to talk about with Detroit. But I wonder more about the water situation across the country.
Yes,
because
Chuck. I mean, just the basic stuff we're having trouble with.
Listen, Flint, Newark.
You're right. It's very difficult.
I mean, there's over 100 cities in America where you got toxic water, right? And because infrastructure has not been serviced. This is just the bottom line to it. It hasn't been serviced over the past 50, 60, 70 years. So, I mean, there's a lot of things to attack when it comes down to it, Uncle. And you know what? Even if she doesn't have the background for it, listen, we've had a real estate hustler. We've had a community organizer. We had a rich boy who kept losing daddy's money in the oil business. We had a Rhodes Scholar. We had a spook, a CIA spook, and a CIA spook again, puppeting an actor. And then we had Jimmy Carter before that. So, I mean, exactly what experience does somebody need to get in there?
Hey,
right?
I want to comment on that real quick. There's a guy running for Congress in Washington. His name is Joshua Collins, and the centrists are all mad at him running because he's a truck driver. But he's running in the 10th congressional district, and he talks better than all the Ivy League educated politicians. He actually cares about people. He talks about, student loan debt forgiveness, healthcare, all these things, and I'd take him over, some jabroni that graduated from, some big university.
Yeah, that's exactly my point. She doesn't need the experience.
I have street cred. I mean, I've been homeless. I've been a squatter. I have a book called Acidexia. It's about my life as a technomad. Like, I was basically a traveling cyberpunk who went from city to city just talking to people about philosophy and technology and going to festivals and concerts and writing. So I have dealt with some of the people on the lowest rings of society, and I understand what it's like to truly suffer. And I think that makes me more qualified to run for president than all of these candidates that are running now with all of these credentials, because I know what people actually desire because I've been in the trenches myself.
Well, but that's exactly the point, though, right, JG? Look, I was saying that she doesn't need any. What exactly does she need outside of the right idea? Because all we have had are people that, they got this background, they got that background, and it makes sense, and it's conventional wisdom. It's nonsense all the way around. It doesn't matter. What we need are people to change things if we want things to change.
And I have a lot of experience, like producing festivals. I've run a record label. I have a design agency. I run an alternative media platform now. But to me, that's all just a part of my life as a creative person. For me, it's the street smarts that I have that I really feel makes me knowledgeable about the American people and what they need. And I would like to see another person running for candidate that has that kind of experience.
I seem to like her ideas.
Oh, God.
I don't know this is, but the way she's talking, she has the ideas what other presidents not even looking at.
Can't wait to see the debates.
Yeah. How the debates go, I'll be listening if you're on the debates. Let me tell you. If you're on the debates, I've listened to them. Yeah. Honestly,
we've had 2 debates already. Right. You're welcome to watch them. I can go ahead and shoot you the link.
What
and we're going to be having another one soon.
What's the stations you're on?
The Transhumanist Party website. There's the Transhumanist Party YouTube. If you go to the Transhumanist Party website, you can find out all the information. You can follow me on Twitter. My name is Beyond the Center there. And I'll keep you updated with all of the debates.
Okay.
So it's going to be wild. I'm the opposition candidate. We were talking earlier about how I got the Bernie treatment, because I have the popular support but not the support of the elites. that I have a lot of momentum on my campaign, and I have the support of the angry, the disaffected, the disenfranchised, the visionaries. These are my voters, and I'm very happy to have them along for the ride.
Bernie, as was a sample, is he, like I was said earlier, he's not a strong background. I can give you an example. Now, Reagan, he had the background. But
it was called a set.
What?
A set background set. He was an actor.
What's that mean? Well,
it was like a
B-movie actor.
Well, and a monkey, too. Don't forget the monkey.
He was an actor, agree. But what is actors going to do with presidents? It's not actual, it's what they can do. Is what the people like to see.
We need entertainment.
We need entertainment. Well,
I think so.
We had peanut nuts.
I'm thinking of, there was this established transhumanist who said something to the effect of that I was trying to turn the transhumanist party into a rave. To which I replied, well, you know what? People actually show up to raves. You know, that's the thing about raves. People actually go to them.
That's another story. That is something different for the people.
Oh, yeah.
So when she's running for this president thing, it's something different. I like things different.
We could turn off the lights in the voting stations, and then they could have lights on, a little polling, and a little booze.
In a booth where they can pick
playing techno music.
I mean, that's what they need to do in this country.
Entertainment. Yeah, politics is entertainment. That's the thing. It's such a show already. We might as well expose it for the show that it actually is. Let's get surreal here. Let's have some theater. Let's, take some real politics and some real entertainment.
You look at Chuck, for example. He's an expert on talking politics on his broadcast.
Oh, yeah.
Or one of these guys. I mean, that's all they talk about.
That's it. That's all
politics.
They do. I know.
There's the man to talk to.
Oh yeah.
That guy.
But Uncle, we're getting toward the end. We're getting toward the end of the show here, Uncle.
I figured that because we had a nice guest talking.
Should we have the guests maybe do shout-outs? You want to do that?
All right, ladies. I mean, the guests, take out your shout-outs to the guests.
Yeah. So, Rachel, do you have any shout-outs to give to anybody here?
Anybody.
Yeah, I wanted to give a shout-out to Transhuman Tees. They've been designing my campaign gear, T-shirts, hats. They've been fantastic. And you can go to transhumantees.com and you can buy Haywire merchandise. They've been incredible. I would check out Biohack Info. They're a biohacking collective of people that are augmenting their own bodies on their own terms, and they're finding radical ways to change their bodies through technology in a very DIY punk way. Check out the entire biohacking movement. Check out anything related to the underground art scene that is also related to technology. And last but not least, check out my new album, Alternative Technology. It is an industrial electro album that was just released on No Devotion Records. That is Alternative Technology, and the band is Experiment Haywire. And it is an album about, technology from the perspective of the presidential candidate. So it's all tied in together. And definitely check out my album, check out the Biohackers, and check out Transhuman Tees.
Cool. All right. JG.
JG, your shout-outs.
Okay, this isn't a shout-out. It's a call-out. I want to call out the current sitting president, Donald Trump. He just announced that he wants to use ketamine nasal spray to help our veterans that suffer from PTSD. And it is my firm belief that he stole that idea from Rachel Haywire. So shame on him for stealing the ideas of our Transhumanist Party president candidate. And I want to shout out to Barrett Brown, and also listen to my podcast, Parallax Views, at Podbean.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, Uncle, do you have any shout-outs before we go here?
Shout out to my original people.
Original people.
You know who they are.
Pure Blades.
Yeah. And workers, my job workers, I'll be working with them on Monday.
There we go.
Yeah, that's a shout out for me.
All right. Yeah. And thank you again, Rachel Haywire and JG Michael. Thanks for making the show interesting.
Yeah, you did. Sure did.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me on, Mr. Uncle.
You're welcome. Anytime you can come on.
Mm-hmm.
You're welcome.
Great.
All right. Yeah. So, Uncle, that's the end of the show. Our website's unclethepodcast.com. We're on Twitter. We're on Instagram.
Twitter, music station.
At Uncle Podcast.
At Uncle Podcast.
Yeah. That's about it.
That's it. Bye-bye.